Now, I got a message from Kevin Kulhavik. He's an avid listener to WJOB. Now, I've known Kevin a long time. We grew up as kids in the same neighborhood of Hegwish on the southeast side of Chicago. And he claims he used to cut through my grandfather's yard. And as kids growing up in my neighborhood, this was quite common. If you lived on one block, you had a friend on the next block, say mid-block. You didn't want to walk to the corner and go all the way around the block to get to his house. You would cut through someone's yard. Like I said, this was common practice back in the day. And I have to make note that we had alleys back in the day. This was my favorite place to hang. I loved to hang in the alleys. And another note, they weren't paved. They were gravel alleys. Lovely. Perfect. I would utilize the alleys for playtime and all kinds of other kids' interests. And the reason I mention the alley is because we didn't have yards butting up against each other where a lot of people put fences. Nowadays, everyone's yards butt up against each other's lot lines and they fence it off. Or sometimes put hedges or something or some sort of bushes to block you from entering each other's property. So back then, a lot of people did have fences. They had those 4 feet cyclone fences. Some had a bit taller fences, those cyclone fences with the slats for privacy. A lot of people had no fences at all. You could just cut right through. But of course, I myself and a few of my cohorts from the neighborhood made cutting through yards a sort of sport. And what we would do is dare each other to cut through the yards that were most impossible to cut through. You know what I'm talking about. The crabbiest guy on the block, the crabbiest old bag on the block, the old man down the street, the Jaja, the Busha, that didn't want anyone in their yards. And they had sort of a security system. Either a fence that's locked, or one you had to reach over, or one you had to hop. Now, back then, I could hop a 4-foot fence and no problem, just, I'm in. A 6-footer may take me a couple climbs up, flip over the top, land on both feet flat, check both ways, make a run for the alley gate. Now, again, we did this just for sport. We didn't damage anything. We might run over a flower bed or two on the way out, especially if they gave chase. Now, on my block, growing up in the 60s, there were 3 houses that we were particularly interested in getting them to give chase, or at least hang out the window with a rolling pin. You damn kids, get out of my damn yard. That kind of thing. Just to give the old folks a little agita. One was directly next door to me, which was very, very difficult to pull off. You almost had to go stealth, because being right next door, that's too close. But it made it even more thrilling. Felt like James Bond. I felt like I Spy. Felt like Man from U.N.C.L.E. Us kids kind of got off on it. And I apologize to Mr. Dow. May he rest in peace. He was a toughie. He had a very secure yard. And he was fast. I remember he worked for Sherman Williams. Always wore the all-green work outfit like he came from the mill. That's all he ever wore. And he had that sort of Fidel Castro-looking cap that matched the whole work outfit, the work clothes. He was most noted in the neighborhood for stealing wiffle balls and or rubber balls if they bounced into his yard. He would take them into his garage, his work area, and promptly put them under the circular saw, then delivering them back to us in half pieces. So that's the main reason he made it onto our yard cutting list. It was a challenge. Plus, he was kind of a scary looking dude. And may I say, we were never caught by Mr. Dow, and many times we cut through his yard just for sport. And as we got to the alley gate, we would yell his name out. Of course, the screen door would be open. Say, "Hey, Mr. Dow, we're in your yard," and start shaking the tulips or something and then run like hell. I know, it sounds like we were mean kids, but it was just all in fun and amusement for ourselves. We weren't really hurting anyone. I know we were annoying a lot of the old folks in the neighborhood, or the crabby people, some who deserved it.